Hey guys, so today I went to an event, a freegan event actually. It was called the Really Free Store. Now I'm gonna get into that in a bit, but I wanted to show you a few things that are popping up around New York, especially in Brooklyn. So we have these free stores where people can drop off items they don't want, and then the community can take it. So I haven't been to these free stores, but it is tempting to drop stuff off there. And look at this. See? So you can find all sorts of things over here. Ceramic bowls, sneakers, parkas, rice, food. And I think it's a really great thing. Now, one thing I have learned from being a dumpster diver or just being like a sidewalk picker of sorts is there are so many things getting wasted or people don't need anymore. And when people don't know what to do with it, right? In New York, what they do is they put it out in a box or they put it out on in front of their apartment or their here, look at this. New York City is a giant free box. People live stuff on their stoops and in front of their buildings all the time. See? So yeah, people, this is just a makeshift thing, right? You can put your reusable bags here, a bunch of clothes, people can go shopping over here. And the whole point about this is you reduce stuff in the landfill and everybody can take what they need. If done right, people would not hoard because they would not see a point to hoard, right? Like, okay, maybe you'll take a bunch of clothes, you'll try it on, but if it doesn't fit you, then you return it back and then someone else can take it. So I'm a big fan of this kind of lifestyle, and I think it's really a beautiful thing. See muffin tins, and I'm kind of looking for a small muffin tin, but I don't know if I'm gonna come across one. I'm not in a rush, so everything that I do, I'm never in like I don't put myself really in a situation where I'm like I need to find it right now, or if I do, I will always like put a in search of sort of posts asking people, hey, does anybody have this? Are they willing to let go of it? And I'll pick it up from them, or yeah. So today when I went to that freegan event, it was called like the Really Free Store. Let me say, so let me pull this up. Where are we here? Really Free Market. See this? So there was clothing, books, household items. I took a bunch of video. I need to do video editing to show it off to you guys, and but all the stuff that I showed you guys earlier in my video today, I dropped it off, and I took home very few things, and it was kind of eye-opening to me because like I thought I would get a lot of stuff. I thought like, man, I would see all this stuff that I would want to get, but I realized like a lot of the stuff that I already have, it's enough. And that was pretty surprising to me because like you would think, right? Like, oh, Erica, if you have like so much freaking clothes, why don't you grab more? But I find that I've been more selective about things, or I kind of had this whole mentality of like, okay, well, what do I want to focus on? I don't really need everything. So I don't want to call myself a freegan, like a pure freegan. You know how like some people who are like vegetarian, it's like they never stray from vegetarianism, right? Like if you don't want to call yourself, let's say, a vegetarian and then sometimes you eat meat, right? You would probably just call yourself plant-based. So with that train of thought, I don't want to call myself a freegan. However, I do strongly believe in freegan principles. So see this? So we avoid buying anything to the greatest degree possible, emphasize sharing resources and finding happiness outside the pursuit of material things. And then, see? So you can read this kind of thing. So I firmly believe avoid buying new as much as you can. Try to get things used. Ask people, do you have, if you're looking for something like, do you have any like vases, because I'm looking for vases. Before you buy a vase, right, just ask around, and typically you find like a lot of people have vases. Or, right, instead of buying a vase, you could use like a glass bottle instead, or look through the recycle bin, or use a glass jar, and I've been doing that. So we have, oh my goodness, how many vases do we have around the apartment? I think we have like something like 7 vases around the apartment, and all of them were free. So I haven't purchased anything, and some of them was just like recycled, upcycled bottles. And I feel like, yeah, if I wanted to get rid of it, it's very easy for me to just say, hey, Does anybody want this? If not, it goes right in the recycle bin, and it costs nothing. Except maybe if I'm, let's say, going to Manhattan or something like that, then it would cost me a subway fare, which is $2.75 one way. But you guys get what I'm saying. So what I realized today is there is people who are open to, of course, right? People like free things. There are people who are open to dropping things off. However, we don't have enough of it. We don't have enough of like a weekly event where people can say, hey, or people can go over and just drop off old clothes or things they have lying around the house, and then other people are encouraged to go to that place to find stuff that they want instead of buying new. And I think it was shocking to me, because like I realized, I was like, damn, all these people really like picking up like a little item here and there and here and there, but because there's not too many of these like free exchanges or kind of like a free market or free store, that's why people are buying stuff. And then if they don't have a place to dump this stuff, let's say if they're moving, then it goes straight into the landfill. I find that some people, they believe that if they donate it to charity, right? Like if I donate a mug, right, to Goodwill, you might think like, okay, Erica, your mug's going to go over on the store. False. Because the stores can only hold so much stuff. So what Goodwill has is they have like a Goodwill surplus store. And the surplus store is stuff that they can't put on the shelves, right? They don't have enough space for the shelves. Or the stuff they couldn't sell in the stores. And if those pickers, if those people who are looking through those bins, and there's a bunch of them. I've been to those Goodwill surplus stores many, many times in Hawaii. It just goes into the landfill, or maybe it gets shipped off to a third world country, but I'm pretty damn sure it goes straight into the landfill. And it's really such a shame, because it's like there are just so many things that people buy new, and then they don't, instead of buying it used, or instead of, let's say, going to a swap meet, it's like they just kind of get stuck in this habit of like, yes, I must buy a new item when there might be another person trying to get rid of it. I never understood really the apprehension of going to a thrift store or a charity shop or a Savers or a Goodwill, because like I find that, yeah, even like if I find that there's like a lot of stuff, it's just like people are willing to part with, and it doesn't mean that it's crummy. It doesn't mean that it's dirty or stained or anything like that. I'm sure like even the people listening to my stream right now, you might have one item or two items in your closet or in your home where you haven't even taken off the tags, right? Or you haven't even really used more than once or twice, and then if you donate it, right, it's like where you would think like maybe someone will take it. But maybe some people have this mentality that if it's used once, then it's just, I don't know, too well worn or something, which is incredibly, incredibly flawed. So I heard, and this is what I was reading. Look at this. Look. So New York City wants to be zero waste by 2030. This is what de Blasio said. I don't think this is going to happen. See? So the city has an ambitious goal of sending zero waste to landfill by 2013. I really do not think this is going to happen by 2030. And the reason why I say that is like, even for me, right? If I get takeout and it comes in a container, like, yes, sometimes like the containers, I can throw it in the dishwasher and then put it in the recycle bin. But other times, like if it comes in like paper packaging and there's noodles inside, like which I'm eating for dinner today, there's no way for me to recycle that stuff, right? Because it's dirty. So that would go straight into the landfill. If I buy a frozen food meal, it comes in plastic. Let's say it comes in a plastic bag, like plastic bag ravioli. That bag has to go into the landfill. So even though we recycle a lot, right? I feel like I drop like a ton of recycles into the recycle bin every week. It's difficult for me to even think, even for myself, which I consider myself to be pretty freaking low waste as a consumer, right? I can't imagine being zero waste. I know that there are compost areas that compost places that I can bring, let's say, vegetables or scraps. But from what I've been hearing, like a lot of places, they don't accept scraps right now near us because of, the situation. So maybe it'll lift up. But even then, it's like, what do I have to do? I have to put the scraps in the freezer and then take a trip just to drop it off. Like, it would be so much easier if like let's say every apartment or every home or every, let's say, block had this one designated area where people can just drop off their, their vegetables or going bad vegetables, or stuff that can be composted, rather than have people go out of their way. So even for us, like I said, even for us, like I throw away like food waste, because it's not like, it's just like I forget about things, like maybe I'll buy 4 avocados, and then for 2 weeks I don't feel like eating avocados, and then I forget about it. I look in the refrigerator, I'm like, oh crap, they're bad, like they're actually getting moldy bad. So it's difficult for me to imagine New York being zero waste. Now, there is a lot of things that you can do to reduce. There's a lot of things that you can reduce stuff going into the landfill, right? First of all, if you have community fridges and you have something aging, you could throw that in a community fridge. Not saying like it's bad or anything, right? But like if you know you're not going to eat it, then you could throw it over to a community fridge. Or, right, if you're a dumpster diver, if you rescue a bunch of yogurt, you can throw it into a community fridge, which is what we were doing, like Lewis and I were doing for a while. But, I don't really go food diving anymore in Manhattan. And it's not because I don't want to, but it's just like I rather just stay in Brooklyn. So yeah, if you want to reduce food waste, have a community fridge. People could save money on groceries, because instead of going to a grocery store, they can say, hey, let me look at the community fridge, let me see what's in there. Oh crap, there's some onions in there, there's some potatoes in there. Okay, so if I go to the grocery store, maybe I'll just buy tomatoes. And that's great, because it's like the food over there is usually rescue food or surplus food or donated food, and anybody can take it. Like, I've taken things from the community fridge, I've dropped off things at the community fridge. For me personally, I've donated way more than I've taken. But even if I didn't, like, you don't have to have this obligation to give or donate back to community fridge. However, I personally like to do that. So, yeah. And I have a lot of fun rescuing stuff like pastries and all sorts of things. Like, I like being able to just say like, hey, I was able to prevent this from going into the landfill. And a lot of people were able to eat it. So, like, remember that 15 pounds of pastries I picked up? Yeah, a lot of people were able to eat it, and those pastries were about $3-4 each. So that was what? I imagine that was something like over $100 worth of pastries. I've tried so many pastries due to dumpster diving, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So the whole thing about the pastries thing is a lot of stores, right? A lot of bakeries, at the end of the day, they don't want to mark down their stuff, and they can't sell it the next day, because who the hell wants to eat day-old pastries? So they already have the stuff prepackaged, and they'll just throw it inside of a trash bag and just throw it away. So when I go over there, it's like I open it up. Typically, the trash bag is clean. The trash bag is only full of like prepackaged pastries, and then I just like load that up into my reusable bags, and the next day I'll usually drop it off to food distribution event or so. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. But the thing is that, like, you can see that, yeah, you have a lot of people who just consume things that would have otherwise gone onto the landfill. It saves them money. They're happy. And it's like it wasn't like there was a shortage of pastries. It's just like, it's kind of just making sure that, how would I say this? It's kind of making sure that things just don't go straight into the landfill. So I think that weekly, I really wish, like, weekly there was a neighborhood thing where, like, every Sunday or every Saturday a community comes together, or like a city comes together, and they say, hey, we're going to have this free event at this park, every Sunday from, let's say, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Bring all the stuff that you have at the home, that you have lying around, make sure it's not crap stuff. But yeah, if you have like extra plates or something, bring that around. And then if you have extra food, donate that to your community fridges. If you have extra pens, then, bring that over, or extra handbags or shirts or clothes. And then you have all these, like, people going over there, right? And hopefully, maybe some people will bring stuff, maybe some people won't. But the idea behind it is that people can cut down on their consumption and they can use what's really out there already, which I think would be a really beautiful idea. So when I went to that really, really free market thing today, I dropped off a whole bunch of stuff and I was just like, dang, a lot of people probably felt like, wow, they couldn't believe that they got this for free, and it makes them feel good. And maybe they'll get involved in that at a later date. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll spread the word around. Maybe next time there's an event, they'll bring extra stuff that they had lying around, and then um, donate it at one of those events. And maybe one day, I will come across an extra spice rack because I actually want one for my essential oils, but I don't want to buy it new. So I'm not in a situation where I absolutely need to have a spice rack. I already have them in containers, but I kind of figure like having an elevated spice rack would be kind of nice. So maybe I'll find one next week. Maybe I'll find one in 2 months, maybe 6 months. Maybe, I could just ask around and ask someone like, hey, do you have an extra large spice rack? But yeah, it's just like a waiting game. And I find that the more I get kind of like immersed in, let's say, having a freegan-ish lifestyle, the less desires I have for being in a consumerist culture. So you know how like they might say like, oh, you really need this shirt or you really need this handbag. It's gotten to the point where it's like sometimes if I hear about like like a really it fashion bag, I'm like, geez, what's going to happen when that handbag is no longer desirable, right? People are just going to say, I don't want to be seen with it because it's so freaking dated, and then they'll just get rid of it, right? Some people will just throw it in the trash can. Other people will donate it. Other people will put it into a charity shop, and maybe some people will buy it, maybe some people won't. But the end result for all items is, let's be real here, it's going to end up in the landfill. So I think we already have a lot of shirts out in the world. We already have a lot of handbags out in the world. And I feel like if people buy stuff at full price too, it really just hurts their bottom line. You see where I'm getting at? Like, if you guys ever shop at a thrift store, you'll realize like shopping at a regular store is such a waste of money. Like $24.99 for a t-shirt versus if you go to a thrift store, it's only like $5. Or if you're like me, where you're like a dumpster diver slash sidewalk. I don't want to say sidewalk scavenger, but you guys know what I mean. Like, it's like you can get it for free, and it's like, well, why would I even go shopping for a lot of clothes? Like, of course, I refuse to get like used undergarments or something like that. But a lot of the stuff, I feel like people really should buy things used, and communities or cities should come together and say, yeah, let's host these free events, and then that way it promotes environmentalism and it promotes financial savviness. Now, the downside of this is I can imagine some stores are going to be really pissed off, right? So fast fashion being one of them. So fast fashion, if you guys are not familiar with fast fashion, right? These are the stores like Forever 21 or H&M or Zara, where they make like a ton of loads of clothing, and they always try to be, quote, on trend. So what happens is that what happens at the surplus at the end of the season, right? They end up with all this like old clothes, or if it's clothes they cannot sell, it probably gets shipped over to a third world country, right? And then after it gets shipped off to a third world country, what happens? Sometimes they'll try to recycle it, but other times it could just end up straight in the landfill. So for me, I used to like fast fashion, and now I look at it with such disgust, because it's like, can you imagine seeing like bales and bales and bales of clothes? It's like perfectly good clothes. It's just like more being produced because they expect consumers to buy it. Like that, there's something flawed with that. And even like Forever 21 clothes, I typically find that the clothes there, not all clothes, but a lot of the clothes, like after a season or two, it starts looking like it starts losing its shape. It's starting to look pretty ratty. it shrinks, even if you air dry it, sometimes clothes shrink, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't put it in the dryer, but it definitely looks a lot different, or the colors fade, and I'm a big fan of just going for quality. So although it is very alluring to, let's say, buy stuff at 50% off or 30% off or staying with the trend, I think it's not healthy. It's not healthy for people's mindset, because then they feel like if they have clothes that was last season, then people will perceive them to be unstylish, and it's also not good for people's financial health and the environment. So yeah, I really hope that more people just think about slowing down on consumerism, or again, hitting up thrift stores, or doing some sort of like going to a swap meet or going to a garage sale, and going with those places first, or join like a buy nothing group. Join a buy nothing group, join Free Cycle, look for any of those sidewalk find groups. There's a bunch of them on Facebook. So if you're interested, yeah, have a Facebook account. You don't need to use your real name. So instead of, let's say, using your real name, you could use an alias instead. If your name, you could make an alias called, I don't know, what, Kenny Ball or something like that, and no one's gonna know. You don't even have to use your picture in there. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, I really think it's very important for us to reduce our landfill waste. And we should, I really think the cities that we live in or the government should encourage that kind of stuff. So I'm going to read chat really quickly over here. And let's see. Have I experienced any hate on the streets since the pandemic? I've encountered, I can't say it was due to the what situation, but what I can tell you is, yes, some people do point out that I am Asian, and it makes me feel a little uncomfortable, because I'm like, dude, okay, yeah, I get that I'm Asian, and I get that I'm a total minority in this neighborhood, but what's the big deal about it, Yeah, reduce, recycle, or don't buy it in the first place. Yeah, definitely. Or, I would say, like, you got to be a very conscious consumer. You got to know, like, even for me, right? And I'm reading chat right now. Hold on. Hey! Hold on. Influencers home. Hey! How was your road trip? He went driving. Are you tired? Oh, did you see the little robot?
No.
Oh, it's right next to you.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't look.
Yeah, washing machine.
Oh, no, it's behind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so let's see over here. Yeah, but you gotta be a very conscious consumer, because like even like, okay, look, if you're not used to like the whole free movement, it can be very tempting to hoard. For instance, right? Let's say you go to the community fridge and you see something good. You might be tempted to say like, oh crap, this is all free food. Let me get everything. But if you know it's always there, right? And it's kind of like, okay, well, it's not just you, it's other people. You'd be more inclined to just take what you need. So instead of, let's say, taking the whole shelf, right? You could be like, okay, I'll take 1 bag of lettuce or 2 bags of lettuce, and then I'll come back here maybe in 3 days. And if I have anything that I want to, let's say, clean out from my fridge, right? Not crummy stuff, but actually things that are still perfectly fine, then you can drop that thing off over there. Yeah, so here's the other thing too. Freeganism can exist if people are frugal, and I think that people can share resources. I really do believe that. But then you will need people who kind of stay on board, and then also keep in mind, you will have people who, how would I say this? You will have people who it's just like they're going to be waiting, of course, for the good stuff, right? So some people, it's like you can't. How would I say this? Like, even what I do, right? Even when I collect things and then I give them out, or if I donate things out, it's because I feel like I'm a little collector of sorts. So, but I'm not the one making that initial purchase. It's someone else. If everybody was like me, that would not be good, because well, It would be good, but then we wouldn't be getting new stuff because it's like after a while people would just cycle clothing, right? It's like you wouldn't see like after a while it's like everybody's wearing like kind of I don't want to say hand me downs, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm alluding at. So you can be frugal, but you just need to you can be frugal and you can share things as well. It's like I'm not saying being anti-consumerism because I'm definitely not anti-consumerism. I still buy groceries. I'll still buy things like essential oils. Like there's no dumpster diving for that, believe it or not. There really isn't. You have to buy your essential oils. I don't throw away edible food, but sometimes like food goes bad. Like lettuce gets goes bad really quickly in the fridge, and if you have like a whole tub of lettuce and you forget about it, you're like, I don't feel like eating a salad. Next thing you know, it goes bad. So I try to be mindful about that, or better yet, I don't get things that's very perishable. So I rarely get lettuce because I know how much I eat. I've actually met a few people over there. They don't give me the creeps personally. It's like they're all about environmentalism, but they do have a really good point. There is a lot of waste going on. As a person who has dumpster dived, right? Some of this waste that you see in the stores is pretty horrific. It's like, whoa, it's just tons of, let's say, children's games, tons of like arts and crafts stuff, tons of seasonal stuff. Like I'm not even happy about Christmas anymore. Like I know some people would be like, "Oh, Christmas, we got to dress up, we got to like decorate the place for the holidays." It actually saddens me to think about it because it's like every Christmas you get people who are like, "Oh, I got to buy this and I got to buy this and oh, let me buy the newest Christmas decorations. Oh, let me buy, blah blah blah." And it comes to a point it's like, how much freaking Christmas decorations does a person need in their life, right? So a lot of this stuff goes unsold. And when it goes unsold, where does it go off to? It goes off to the landfill. And it's not good. I know sometimes, like let's say a store like Michael's, for instance, right? Joanne or Michael's, they will have things like. Let me show you guys this one. Um, Michael's gift grab bag. So Michael's, I don't know if they have it over here. Okay, so they got these grab bags at end of season where they'll put like random stuff, like this big box for $4, and people could say like, "Wow, this is such a freaking deal! Like you have a whole load of stuff." But here's the thing, right? You open it up, like, do you really need all this freaking stuff? Like, what is this? Like some kind of kit? I don't know. Like, does the average person need like 10 of these kits? No. And then you end up with this kind of stuff, and I understand people would say, "Oh, this is so cheap, it's only $4," but you don't need it. And it's just like, frick, man. Like, I wouldn't even be happy, like, paying $1 for this stuff, because it's like, I know I don't have a use for this, right? Like, if I have a box of this stuff, really, what am I going to do with this stuff? Nothing. So some people I notice this, right? Some people, if they have free stuff, they'll just hold on to it because they say, "Oh, well, it was free. I want to keep it because yeah, I got it very cheap and it's worth this much." But what it does is it creates clutter, and I feel pretty confident in saying that it's not good. It's not. It's very easy to let things like start to stack up when you get deal after deal after deal after deal. And yeah, maybe you find like this box, right? Maybe you just like one thing in there, but you don't know what you're gonna get. So I could have gotten like freaking, one of these boxes, but I chose not to because I'm gonna be just bringing home what I perceive to be a whole bunch of crap, right? Like if I look at this, what the hell am I gonna use? Okay, maybe the only thing I would keep would be the freaking tape. No, I would actually give all this stuff away. This is nothing in the box that I like. But this is really the byproduct of a consumer's culture, right? A culture where they try to tell you like you need this stuff, and yeah, you really should decorate for Christmas, and if you don't decorate from Christmas, then yeah, you're not being a good consumer. So I'm a big advocate of reusing Christmas stuff. Get the most bang for your buck. You don't go off and spend like a whole freaking paycheck on Christmas stuff. or reuse what you have, or better yet, right? Buy stuff after Christmas, and then after Christmas, you can get things for like 95% off, or you can buy one of these like freaking Michael's bags and then wade through it, and whatever you don't want, hopefully you don't just send it off to charity, right? Hopefully you try to give it off to like some kind of free cycle group or buy nothing group, and that way it directly goes into the hand of another person. Because what I've noticed in thrift stores is like sometimes people donate Christmas stuff in, let's say, summer, and then they think like, oh yeah, they're gonna be able to sell it. But here's the thing: not everybody wants this freaking stuff in summer, right? Because you got to store it. I personally don't want any more Christmas stuff. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't want any Christmas stuff except maybe like one or two decorations, but that's really it. I don't believe in going the full blown Christmas. Here's the thing though, you cannot inject reuse and recycle in it, because these stores make money off of selling this stuff. They don't want to recycle it. They don't want people to use it longer. They don't want people to reuse it the next season. They want you to keep buying more and more and more. And then if your house gets cluttered, that's a you problem. That's not a their problem. See this stuff? Like, this is freaking useless. Look at this. Like, okay, maybe not the paintbrushes. A painter could use that, right? But like, what is this? Mom number one? uh, yeah, all this stuff. Like, okay, there's some floral wire on the bottom. Yeah, floral wire. Maybe I could. You know what? Hell with that. I wouldn't even use floral. I'd just use freaking twist ties. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is just crap. So much crap. So this person got a 5-bag clearance bag of yarn. If you do knitting, then that would be a good deal for you. But I personally don't do knitting. See this stuff like 60% off. Like, how much mugs do I need in my life? We have so many mugs. We have so many mugs. It's like all my mugs. I'm like, man, I think my mugs are cute, but we could probably get rid of 2 or 3 mugs. Notice, I'm just saying 2 or 3. That's it. Like, we don't have that much stuff. Yeah, decorate for Christmas. Well, we have, if you guys notice in Lewis's streams, he has like 2 Christmas trees behind him. So I'm already always like ready for Christmas. I'm like, dude, Christmas coming up? Don't worry. I just got to plug in my Christmas tree lights. Just put in some freaking snowflakes around the apartment. Maybe some yeah, snowflakes around the apartment, maybe some red cardinal or something like that. Like, boom, it's Christmas. Make a DIY snowman, like cut them out from construction paper or some holiday tag. Haha, it's Christmas again. So you can if you do you have Facebook? Because if you have Facebook, I would suggest like joining like a free cycle group, or let's say you live in Texas, right? You can join like a Buy Nothing Texas, or Buy Nothing, whatever your state is, like Buy Nothing Los Angeles, or if you're a city, right, like Buy Nothing Honolulu. That would be another one. There's also free cycle groups, free cycle. I highly recommend going on Facebook rather than like those Craigslist things, like Craigslist free stuff ads. I feel like there's so much competition over there. So if you do it that way, yeah, you can instantly like directly speak to a person and say, hey, I know you posted let's say a chair and I'm interested in it, and you can talk to them directly to confirm pickup. Like, for instance, right, tomorrow I have someone picking up like a bunch of jackets for me and a dress for me, and they're showing up around, I think, early afternoon. So I told them, I said, yeah, just give me a heads up when you're 5 minutes away. So that's what I do. Like, I don't know how it works in other groups, but typically they'll say something like, where are you located near? And then you could say, oh, I'm near, let's say, Unicorn Avenue and Ferry Lane, right? Like, I mean, I know that's a fake name, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, or like Sunset Avenue and Meadow Avenue, right? Like, nearby there, and then afterwards you could tell them, hey, So yeah, I live near there, but I'm actually at 577 Meadow Avenue, like that. And then people will be like, oh, okay, I'll meet you over there. And then of course, you hammer down a time. What I would suggest is tell them, like, let me know when you're 5 minutes away, and then you have, let's say, your Facebook Messenger up. And that way, right, you can kind of be on the lookout. And then when they're 5 minutes away, you just go downstairs or you go out the door and you just give it to them. I don't have any problems with safety. I know some people would talk about that, like, oh, Eric, aren't you worried about some creeper? I'm like, no. No, you don't have those kind of creepers in those free groups, I find. And it's just like you give the item to them and that's it, and then they'll probably say thank you and then they go off their way. So it's done in like 10 seconds. It's super fast. It's not like you guys have like a long conversation for 50 minutes. You guys get what I'm saying? So I have given away a lot of stuff, but I've also picked up a number of stuff. But now it's like, of course, I'm giving away more than I'm picking up because there isn't anything that I want. There isn't anything that I want except maybe a spice rack. That's it. A spice rack. A spice rack, or maybe some like tins, or maybe some like dropper bottles, but that's pretty hard to find. Or essential oils. Like, I'm always open to essential oils, but yeah, not too much people give away essential oils. There's more people into collecting essential oils like me than giving them away. So I'm no, freeganism does not include veganism. Hell no. Not all freegans are vegans. Some people, they have this association that you have to be vegan to be freegan, but no, you don't. I know people who are dumpster divers, and they're definitely doing the freegan lifestyle, and they definitely eat meat. So it's not, yeah, you don't, it's not a dietary thing, but it's more like if you're freegan, it's like maybe you just shun paying for stuff, and then you rather dumpster dive for stuff or sidewalk find for stuff instead. But yeah, people who are freegans, they aren't radicalist or anything like that. Because I could technically fall under freeganism, not 100%, but like quite a bit. And last time I checked out, I'm not one of those like crazy people. Or like some people, they think they're crazy. It's like, no. But I think there has to be a balance. Like I said, I know people who are freegans who refuse to pay for food. They rather just die for their food or go off to a community fridge. I respect that. But last time I checked, I can't get Kerrygold in the dumpsters. So yeah. So we're just talking about giving away versus throwing away and whatnot. Well, I say that people should try to find things secondhand, or and get it directly from other people in the community, or right, get it through an online platform rather than just buy brand new. I'm like, the older I get, the more I find that I lean towards just getting things that are like pre-loved and stuff like that. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, oh, hello, Danielle. Oh, hold on. What are you doing? Oh dear. That is Clinton is meowing and not Oreo. So I think Oreo's sleeping right now. So this is the only time he's forgetting about food. Yeah, I actually don't like it when people like I don't like it when people feel obligated to get me a gift. Like for um, Christmas or birthday or something like that, or even like Valentine's Day. It's like, I think it's much more meaningful if someone's like, hey, I know it's not a holiday or anything, but I was just out and about and I saw this, let's say, chocolate chip cookie, Erica, and I thought of you, so I just picked it up. Or I saw something nice and it reminded me of you, so I just picked it up. I really think that if people give gifts, you really should lean to getting a consumable. So, for instance, right, let's say, I would suggest, like, instead of buying stuff for a person, like one of the pet peeves I have is, like, I love my family so much, okay, but it's like I hate it when they get me Christmas presents because I've realized that I don't like a lot of the stuff that they buy me. And I know this sounds really harsh to say, but sometimes they don't know my style, right? They don't know my style, they don't know my size. I already have a duplicate of it, and then I end up after Christmas waiting in line at the store trying to get merchandise credit for it, and then it's like, okay, else are you gonna buy? Oh crap, there's nothing I have to buy. So I actually ended up with something like $400 at Macy's because I had nothing I wanted to buy at Macy's. Yeah, so over a couple of years, right? My Macy's merchandise credit was just racking up higher and higher and higher. And yeah, it was because like, yeah, I just I didn't buy anything at Macy's. So, no, I mean, like, I'm not against presents, but I just say, like, it's better to buy consumable, like food, right? If you buy someone a box of chocolates, if you buy someone like a nice, like a Starbucks drink, right? Like, hey, I was thinking about you, I got you a Starbucks drink. Like, that's something that they don't have to store. Um, or, right, if like they drink wine, you can buy them a bottle of wine. That is so much better than just buying them a freaking t-shirt and you don't even know their style, right? So, or better yet, if you have friends, you could tell them, hey, yeah, you know what, I'll treat you to lunch or I'll treat you to dinner for your birthday. So that way you don't even have to buy them a gift, right? It's like you don't have to wrap anything up. You just say, oh, where do you want to go? Oh, you want to go to this restaurant? Okay, we'll go over there. You guys have conversation. You guys have a good time. They don't have to hold on to anything. The only thing they have is memories with you. And memories is so important. It's like that is like I look back at things and it's like I think sometimes when we think about Christmas we get it all wrong because it's not just about like if you're a little kid like I can understand why the kid wants a video game or something. But like if you're older it's like it's not about just having stuff, all right? It's like if you move you got to get rid of that stuff anyway, but a lot of the stuff. But it's really about just saying like, hey, Christmas is coming up. Yeah, do you want to go out to go grab, I don't know, lunch or dinner sometime? Like my treat. And the other person goes like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Let's go to a place that you want to go to. I will treat you. So then you got two people going out to two restaurants that they want to go to. And at the end of the day, they don't take home nothing. Maybe they take home food, which is a consumable, but that's it, right? So, yeah, Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day, like do that too. Like take your mom out to a good Mother's Day dinner and say, Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And she doesn't take anything home. She doesn't have to store anything. What I find is for older individuals, especially, like one people who are in like their 50s or 60s, that's around the time like people think like, man, I gotta declutter. And I'm in a bunch of dumpster diving groups, okay? Like I like the idea of dumpster diving. I like dumpster diving. It's just that at the end of the day, even though you have a treasure hunt, you got to bring that stuff home unless you have a place to store it, right? Or dispose of it. I'm not dispose of it, but like drop it off. So I like looking at dumpster diving groups on Facebook. There's one called like Dumpster Diving USA, for instance, that I regularly check out. And then people show their hauls from like Dollar General or Dollar Tree or CVS or Dwayne Reed or whatever, right? And but then you also come across people who say, "Oh crap! Like I need to get a dump truck or something because their basement is full of stuff." And they just get so caught up in stuff. And it's not just dumpster divers, okay? Like average people over the course of their lifetime, if they keep buying stuff that's either cheap or for free or for sale, or for like 50% off or on sale, it's like that stuff accumulates. And yeah, it's like you got to find a way to get rid of it. And I think the best way to maintain whatever you have in your home is just say, okay, if I give someone a present or if someone gives me a present, I want it to be something I use like shampoo, soap, um, chocolate, wine, meal. You see, like I don't think anybody would turn like I know some people might get offended by like freaking body soap, but it's like some people really like it. You can say, "Man, I got you this look at this. Look at this soap or wait, L'Occitane soap." See, like this one for instance, this is a upper brand soap. See this? Like they have this like hand and body soap. I know some people might be like, oh my gosh, Erica, but like something like this. Like if you gotta always wash your hands, you could use that. Some people they really like what's it called? Aesop soap. This is the freaking $40 soap. Look at this. Some of this is like $45 body soap. If someone gave me that, I would not be offended. I'd be like, damn, this is some bougie freaking soap, right? So, but it's a consumable. You know, people wash their bodies, right? They wash their bodies, hopefully every day or hopefully every other day, and it's going to be used. It's not going to be stored in the back of the closet, never to be used. Or if they have skin reaction, then they can give it away to, let's say, their neighbor or their mom or someone else or their friend. So yeah, you gotta be really smart about what you give to people. And I'm not a fan of like giving people towels because it's like freaking towels. I feel like kind of indestructible. Like I have towels in Hawaii that are like 6 years old. If someone gives me a towel, I'd be like, I don't need another freaking towel. But yeah, think about what people use every day. They use soap. They use shampoo, right? Not every day, but like they use shampoo regularly. They use conditioner regularly. They use yeah, what do they like eating? Do they like drinking sparkling water? You could get them like a bunch of sparkling waters. You see, like if they like nuts, you can get them a nut assortment. If they like beer, you could get them like a bunch of beer. See where I'm getting at? And it's like if they don't like it, like they can easily give it away to someone, and almost someone's gonna be like, "Oh, damn, yeah, I love this kind of stuff." So just something to think about. And I hope that you guys really think about that in the future, because it's like I see over and over every year some people get like a lot of pressure about what to buy people as gifts. I've kind of stepped away from it. Like I have gift wrap inside of the closet. I'm thinking about giving that away because it's like I just think like, yeah, if I give someone a present, right? What would it be most likely? It'd probably be chocolate. I'd probably give someone chocolate as a present. Because I think like, yeah, there's chocolate is a really good gift. But that's just because I'm a chocolate lover. So I haven't had a box of chocolate that I really disliked. If you want to give like someone a nice gift, right? You can go with C's chocolate. I like C's chocolate. See that? You can give them the sampler. Like, who's gonna get mad at you? Merry Christmas. Here's a box of chocolate, right? Like, no one's gonna get mad at you. You can go special. You can go Godiva chocolate. That's another thing, right? Or, like I said, the tried and true, even easier. You don't gotta wait in the freaking line. I'll take you out to dinner. I'll take you out to dinner. I'll take you out to lunch. And yeah, just no thought. Just dress yourself up, get out the door, and yeah, have a great time. Have a great time. See? So, I would suggest that. Like, before you even buy any chocolate or anything, just ask a person if they want to go out to dinner or lunch. Zero pressure, and then you could tell them pick the place, right? Like, oh, what kind of place do you like to go to? Oh, you like going to an Italian restaurant? Oh, and then you can check the prices, of course, right? And you could say, hey, do you want to check out so and so Italian restaurant? My treat, and then most likely they'll say like, oh yeah, I've heard about that place. Let's go over there. And then if let's say the meal is going to be $30 or $20 or so, $20-$30. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you beat the crowd. You beat the crowd. You don't got to worry about that stupid gift wrapping. I know people are going to get offended. They'll be like, Erica, I take pride in my gift wrapping. And I would say to that, I take pride in making sure that gift wrapping goes in the recycle bin. One of the things that I don't like about gift wrapping is the freaking ribbon. And it could be because when the more environmentally conscious I get, the more I think like, what the am I gonna do with this damn ribbon? Like, right? I can't put this in the recycle bin. Reuse the ribbon? Okay, well, what am I gonna reuse the ribbon with? Wait to give someone another gift and then give them that ribbon that was given to me? And then what? I gotta wait for like a couple years, right? And then what are they gonna do with the ribbon? Most likely they're gonna be throwing it away. So seeing ribbons in that way just kind of like ruins the ribbon thing for me. And I can say I have never thrown away a ribbon because it's like I just think like, man, I don't want to. I haven't thrown away. Okay, I've thrown away some ribbon, but most ribbons I don't throw away because I'm just thinking like I don't want to throw it away. Maybe I'll reuse it, and then yeah, it just kind of clashes. So yeah, my thing is like stay away freaking from ribbons. No, it is. It is. You can definitely give it. Like, look at this. Look at this. Christmas. Look at this. Christmas Godiva. Look at this, see? You can definitely give people chocolates for Christmas. See? Look, they even got the Christmas packaging. See that? Godiva's a really fancy chocolate brand. Godiva's one of those chocolate brands, like, I feel like you eat one piece and you're good. So I haven't had Godiva in a really long time. But yeah, they have some nice pieces. It's pretty, whatchamacallit? It's high end. I've never seen Godiva chocolate in a dumpster, but I know other people have. I've not come across a giant chocolate haul yet. I'm still waiting for my chocolate haul, by the way. But whenever I see it, I'll be like, oh, my chocolate haul. I'll be very happy if I came across a whole stack of Godiva chocolates in the dumpster. And then I'd give it away because I can't eat all that Godiva chocolate by myself. Goodness. So the upside about this is, let me show you guys this really quickly. So you can go, let's say if you want to buy consumable, right? You can go to Godiva, right? For example, right? And it's like you can buy them this gift box and you don't even got to freaking package it, really. Like the box is already pretty. You see, now I understand it's $30 for this. But, like, look how nice that is. Doesn't that look so, like, elevated? It looks a lot fancier than me just getting someone a freaking $30 t-shirt. I'll tell you that straight up. And what are they going to do? They're going to probably eat it, or they'll share it with family, or they'll share it with friends, and they'll be like, damn, look at these fancy truffles that I got. You want to try one? And they're going to remember it. You know, so, yeah, what else do you got? Bestsellers. Look at the Mother's Day one. Mother's Day chocolate. Okay, let's do shop all. Oh wait, hold up. See this? Like, look how fancy these things are. Does that not look fancy? I think it looks really fancy. Oh, by the way, their chocolate biscuits are tasty. No, seriously, their chocolate biscuits are great. But they're kind of pricey, so I haven't had one in years. But look at that. It's like a buttery chocolate. It's really good. It's really, really good. Buttery biscuit with chocolate, you can't go wrong. But let's go back here. So see, you got this nice little box. Of course, then you got the gold box. That's always, you can't go wrong with the gold Godiva box. Seriously. Oh, there's the chocolate biscuits over here. I highly recommend if you guys have never tried the Godiva chocolate biscuits. Like, you don't have to buy the expensive pack. They have, like, cheaper packs. Try it. Try it at least once in your life. It's worth it. So, what else? Oh, the hot cocoa is good, too. I haven't tried their coffee, but it seems like they have a buy one get one free for their coffee right now. So let's look at the Mother's Day luxury gifts. So if you look at the prices, you can see it's kind of up there, like 60, 70 bucks. I think it was like, yeah. As someone who has been on the receiving end of one of these giant boxes, I'm gonna tell you this straight up. It might be tempting to buy someone $100 worth of chocolate. That is just too much freaking chocolate for one person to eat. So yeah, they're gonna have to share it with other people because after a while they're gonna get sick of chocolate. They're like, damn it, this is so much chocolate. I mean, it's not being ungrateful, but think about it. Like, that's a freaking lot of chocolate. That is a lot of chocolate to eat. Okay, so look at this. Birthday gifts, right? Let's say someone's birthday is popping up. See? You can get them birthday truffles. See that? $17 to $49. This one, you can get them just like a strip of this thing. Like, if you had to give someone like a birthday gift, right? I would honestly prefer to just do the whole lunch thing instead of buying them truffles. But let's say if they're like some kind of, I don't know, like if it's your coworker, right? Let's say it's your coworker and you're pretty close to them, but you don't want to take them out to dinner or lunch. You could just get them happy birthday truffles. And I'm pretty damn sure they're gonna like it. And if it's, yeah, they'd be impressed. They'd be like, dang, I got some 17.95 truffles from Godiva. Like the perceived value of Godiva truffles is very expensive, very high in my opinion. See, so you can go with this one. Yeah. So any people out here who's dating another person, if you want to make a impact, you can always just buy them Godiva chocolates. But see if they like Godiva chocolates. You can also, if you want to go cheaper, like I'm more of a See's candy girl, but I love Godiva as well. But let me show you See's candy, because See's candy is significantly cheaper than Godiva. So if you go into Godiva, you get a free piece of candy. I mean, not Godiva, See's. Oh, it's great. It's really great. I love the free piece of chocolate that they give you. And if you want to switch it for something else, you can feel free to ask them to. I don't know if they do that in the rest of the United States, but I remember when I was in Hawaii, I would ask them like, oh, instead of that, can I have, let's say, something else? And they'll give it to you. So look, here's the Mother's Day chocolates instead. See? You can see there's a price difference over here. White mint truffles, sweet bouquet, keepsake box. See that? This is only like 13 bucks. See? And it's even shaped like a freaking flower. It's so pretty. Lollipops. Mother's Day assortment. Oh, it's all gone. And then, yeah, you can get them like a package of dark chocolate hearts. Seriously, like if you give someone like freaking nice box chocolate, I'm not talking about Twix bars, but I'm talking like something from See's Candy or Godiva, people are gonna remember. They're gonna be like, dang, this person got elevated chocolate taste. But you can also go with the more bougie brands as well, you know, like one of those like confectioners that you never hear about, like freaking I can't think of it, but there's like some New York chocolatiers. You can go with that too, but that's gonna be pricey. So I just like going with See's or Godiva instead of making a special trip to one of those chocolatiers. But you definitely can. Yeah, so let's see. You know what my favorite chocolate is from here? I'll show you guys. Where is it? Hot chocolate. Wait. Okay, my favorite chocolate, if you guys ever go to See's Candy, my freaking favorite is the freaking Scotch Mallow. Holy crap, this is amazing. So it's caramel, it's chocolate over with a fluffy marshmallow and caramel, and it's like gooey caramel. It is like the perfect trifecta. I used to go over to See's Candy. I mean, like, I'm a frugal person, right? So I'd go over to See's Candy, and then they give me my free sample of chocolate, and then I tell them, like, I want one Scotch Mallow. And they'd be like, just one? And I'd be like, yeah, just one. Because you pay per pound, right? And because I do portion control, I just want one piece. I don't want, like, 5 pieces or anything like that. So I pay for one, but I leave with 2 pieces. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So Scotch Mallow is the way to go. I think this comes out to like, I want to say 50 to 70 cents if you just buy one by itself. Because remember, they weigh it per pound. I think it's $31 a pound, but I could be remembering it wrong. Oh, Ferrero Rocher is good too. It does taste fancy. Seriously, you gotta try Godiva chocolate at least once. When you try it, you'll be like, you know what? This tastes really elevated. It tastes like it doesn't have like the same kind of flavor profile of something like a cheaper chocolate, like a Twix bar, or M&Ms. It's definitely more refined.
Hi, Mr. Clinton.
How can you elevate your looks without buying something? It depends. Like if you are let's say if someone buys, let's say, an expensive item and they give it away, then you could elevate your clothes by getting more higher end stuff. But it's not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable because like you would always need someone who buys the more nicer stuff. It's not like it's like if it's like you don't want everybody shopping on, let's say, Walmart clothing, right? You want to go for the person who's shopping at Macy's for their clothing instead. See where I'm getting it? Lindt chocolate is good. Lindt chocolate is good, but it's not as good as the Scotch model. Seriously, I know, Clinton. What is it?
Clinton, why is she ignoring you?
I'm not ignoring him.
Why is she ignoring you?
I'm not ignoring. Why don't you talk to Clinton, huh? Why don't you talk to him, huh? Okay, Clinton, go down there. Go talk to him.
Mr. Clinton, why is she ignoring you?
Ooh, look at this. Let's see what Jim bought his mom. Let's see. Mum Yums. Oh, that is such a cute name. Mum Yum. Ooh, look at that. Caramel coated nutmegs. That looks tasty. Peanut brittle, you really can't go wrong with peanut brittle. Mum Yum. I love that name. So you get your caramel coated nutmegs, your peanut brittle, almond and honey nougat, chocolate and cherry nougat. See, so something like this, it's tasty, and it's not like you're gonna store it in your closet and then never wear it. So consumables, really the way to go. Ooh, yeah, you can get some really nice stuff from those free groups. Highly recommend checking them out. And if you guys want to, let's say, clear out your closet or something like that, do that same kind of thing as well, right? Make sure that, yeah, I would recommend like every week, make sure you post at least one thing. And then after, right, if you post one thing a week, then you get rid of 52 items in a year. If you post 5 things a week, it is like 125 items a year. And yeah, it's pretty great. It's really great. So I think like for me, what I'm doing is like I post things in my groups, and if they don't want it, then I'll put it in a free box. If they don't want it, then I'll bring it over to my one of those like free market things. You know, that really free market. Or there's either this kind of event where people congregate and then they take what they want. So you don't have to give anything. You could just show up and take free stuff if you want. See? Really free market. See? So you get free clothes, books, household items, and more. Or go to a free store that's around in Brooklyn area, it seems. And yeah, managed by the community, donated stuff in the community, and it's a really great thing. It depends. Like you don't have to buy like a whole tray of it. You can just buy one piece. So you can buy a single piece of Godiva if you really want to, and I think it would probably come out to like $1 or $2 just for a single piece. And then Godiva has this thing where if you show up, right? If you pay, I don't know if they still have it, but it's like if you pay if you spend $10 at one time, then for the rest of the year you get like a free piece of chocolate once a month. So I used to do that in Hawaii. Like I used to buy $10 worth of chocolate about, and then that way I'd be part of their I don't know some kind of like club of sorts. And then every month I would go into Godiva and just get my free chocolate and just like not buy anything. I know it's probably you're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, Erica, really? I'm like, yeah, I really got like a lot of bang for my buck, and I really enjoyed trying different Godiva chocolates. So when I was in Hawaii and I was dating my ex, for instance, right? He would buy $10 worth of chocolate. I would buy $10 of chocolate, and then every month we would go into Godiva together, just claiming our free chocolates, and then we would walk out with 2 pieces of free chocolate, and he would eat half, and I would eat half, and then we have 2 different flavors and swap out. Oh, frugal dating with higher end chocolate. So, I will talk to you guys later. It's getting late right now. It's like freaking 10:48. But I hope you guys had a really good night. I'm kind of tired because like I did a lot of walking around today, and then yeah, I did a lot of walking around today, and then I cleaned up that the freaking little robot, and then I also fixed the table, and tomorrow I have other things that I gotta do, and give things away as well. So yeah, you guys take care.